Lil Uzi Vert. Maybach. I'm in the gut and my whip all black. Yes, I blend right in.
Alright, to start this fish video out, I gotta show you guys some stuff. This is your host that does the most, JGW4. Broadcasting live, I have found every single fish for you guys. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Go up to your map options, your match options in Battle Lab. Find them in Battle Lab because it always helps to be in Battle Lab to find them, because Battle Lab will allow you to find them all. You're going to want to drop down to Asteroid for gravity. Time of day, you always want to keep as night. And you want to turn off drop items when eliminated, because here is why, and I will show you. We'll jump right into it real quick. The first place you guys want to land at is Craggy Cliffs. Now, the reason why is because when you land at Craggy Cliffs, there's going to be a fishing store there that's going to have a whole bunch of fishing rods. Now, some of them need the pro rod, not too many of them, but it's always better to go get it. So we're going to head over to Craggy Cliffs right now, and I'm going to go show you guys where to go to get it. Now, the reason why you put on Asteroid is so you can jump around. It makes it a lot easier. This is also one of the areas that you're going to want to use for coastal fish, because some of your fish will pop up here as coastal. But right after this, I'll go through and I will show you each and every fish and tell you how we get each and every fish. Now, if you guys come down here and you break open all these barrels and you don't get a pro rod, pretty easy. Leave match and start a new one. Why are we going to leave match and start a new one? Because when you come back, eventually it will give you one. There's a lot of areas all over the place, but this little store right here, the little fish shop, is where we want to go. This little fish shop has barrels all over the place, and there are rods all over the place. And eventually, if you keep hitting these barrels, since there are so many of them, you'll eventually get a pro fishing rod. Like I said, if you don't find one, then keep on going. You know, log out, come back in. Okay, so it didn't give me one this time. So if I went out and I came back into this match, then eventually it's going to give me a pro rod in one of them. You can run around, bust open the rest of the barrels, but this little fish house is the best place to find them. Now, let's get on with finding our fish. Alright, this season they only give us 33 fish, which is a good thing. Less fish than what we had last season. We don't have the minus anymore. We don't have the vendetta fish anymore, so we don't have any rare fish to find. Some of these are coming up hard to find, but the season's still new. So the first three are floppers. You have the orange flopper, number 2 is the green flopper, and number 3 is the blue flopper. And as you can see, these can be found anywhere with any rod, any time of day. Now, I keep it set to night because there's only a few fish that you need to pull from night, but they're not going to say day on them. So at night, you can still pull these fish. But these can be done with any rod. Like I told you, get a pro fishing rod and you guys are golden. But those can be found from any fishing spots, and they're easy to find. The next one we have is the black and white shieldfish. He can be found anywhere. Now this black stripe shieldfish can only be found in coastal regions. So the best place is to go down to the Craggy Cliffs, and if you can't find it, then you guys need to go down to Believer Beach and go around those waters. And eventually you guys will catch it. It might take a little bit because he's kind of hard to get up. The green shieldfish is only in forest areas, so the best place to find them is the whole path leading down right here through Weeping Woods. Also check the pond in the center of Weeping Woods. Now if you don't find them, all you have to do is leave match and come back into a new match, and eventually they'll pop up. Okay, this is the first one that needs the pro fishing rod. It's number 7. It's the pink shieldfish. He can be found anywhere out of any fishing hole, but it does have to be a pro rod. If it's not a pro rod, it doesn't work. The light blue shieldfish can be found anywhere. And obviously the most common that can be found anywhere is the blue slurpfish. Some of these are very, very common. Okay, now this one is different because the yellow slurpfish can only be found in swamp areas. So the best place to find them in the swamp areas is to go around Slurpy Swamp. If you keep fishing the waters around, eventually you'll get them. I've gotten fish out this far. You can check these ponds, see if they'll let you. Sometimes they'll let you fish in there. The next one we have is the purple slurpfish. He can only be found in mountain regions. The best place to do mountain regions is right here at Lazy Lake. Or if you come up right over here, that's all considered mountain range. And that's where you're going to find most of your mountain range fish. But I got most of them out of Lazy Lake. This one can only be found in coastal regions. It can only be found at night. So once again, you're going to go around Believer Beach. There are fish down in Coral Castle. Or you are going to come over to Craggy Cliffs and go down around the shores. There's always fish down there and around there. The next one is the white slurpfish. This is number 13. Number 13 requires a full... it has 3 requirements. You got to be in the swampy area, so Slurpy Swamp. It has to be at night, and you need a pro rod. So if you meet all 3 requirements, you'll eventually pull them. Now, we're moving on to our small fry. Number 14 is the light blue small fry. Common anywhere, any rod, any time of day or night. The tan small fry used to be last season he could only be found in coastal areas. Now he's being found anywhere. Now, for small fries, you're just going to fish the water, which is going to pull out weapons and stuff like that. But you do not want to hit a fishing hole, because if you hit a fishing hole, you won't ever find a small fry in them. So, the best place to do is around fishing holes. Just don't put the rod into the fishing hole. Number 16 is the purple top small fry. He can be found anywhere too. These pop up at random. These 2 are a little bit hard. This one's more common to get the light blue one, but they're there. Number 17 is the black small fry. He can only be found at night, but he can be found anywhere at night. And like I said, it's all at random when these 3, 15, 16, and 17 pop. Number 18 is the blue small fry. It can only be found in coastal areas. I found him in Craggy Cliffs, just fishing off the coast and off the beach down there. Yes, you're gonna pull out weapons and ammos and other stuff, and yes, I know it gets horrible sometimes, but hey, that's what we gotta do to get them. Number 19 is the molten spicy fish. He can be found anywhere. He is very common. He pops up a lot. Number 20 is the drift spicy fish. He can be only found in forest areas. So once again, go down to Weeping Woods and start searching through the fishing holes down there for him. Number 21 is the white spotted spicy fish, and he can only be found in mountain areas. I found him up in Lazy Lake, because Lazy Lake is considered mountain areas, and there's tons of them that popped. The southern spicy fish can only be found in swamp areas like Slurpy Swamp, and that's the only place that you can find them at. And yeah, you just search for them around there. The sky blue spicy fish is in coastal areas, number 23, so Craggy Cliffs or Believer Beach. Somewhere around there you will pull this fish. It's at random. I had a hard time doing it, but as soon as I grabbed one, I mean, more started coming up. Now, the ones you see with 3 stars on them are the most common ones to find. As you find 2, that means they're less common. And then when you find 3, they were really a pain to go find because they don't always pop up. So number 24 is our slurp jellyfish. And he can be found anywhere. He's the most common jellyfish, any time of day, any type of rod. The next one needs a pro fishing rod, and it needs to be in mountain areas. Now, I found him up in Lazy Lake. This is the peely jellyfish, and he is not easy to come by. But if you keep going through those holes all the way down the river to the ravine up in Lazy Lake, you just don't have to stay in here. But if you keep going down the river to this ravine and you get all these fishing spots, these fish will start popping up for you. The purple jellyfish, coastal areas, like you see, 3 stars. This thing pops like there's no tomorrow. I mean, this thing is a common thing that will pop up day or night, any kind of fishing rod. The dark vanguard jellyfish is exactly where it used to be, except last season it needed a pro rod. You can only find it at night. Now, I found it down in Slurpy Swamp, but it doesn't say it has to be in an area. But I found it down in Slurpy, and that's where they had it at last season. And it's just much easier to find them through Slurpy Swamp. Just make sure you got your settings at night. Make sure you got a pro rod. It's easier to pull them. Once you start pulling them out, you'll get quite a few. Number 28 is the cuttlefish. The cuttlefish is in swampy areas only. So another fish. This one was really, really hard for me to come by. It took me a couple of sessions to grab one. But all you gotta do is go down to Slurpy Swamp. Number 29 is our hoppers, starting with the drift hopper fish. This is common. He can be found anywhere, as you notice, 3 stars on him. Number 30 is the Atlantic hop flopper. This requires 2 things. It has to be in the mountain regions, and it has to be a pro fishing rod. I found him up in Lazy Lake because it's really, really easy to grab them up in Lazy Lake. Number 31 can only be found in coastal regions, day or night, any kind of fishing rod. If they don't specify pro fishing rod, you don't need a pro fishing rod. The chin hook flopper. This took me a while to find, but as soon as I found him, they started coming out. He is in swampy areas. So somewhere around Slurpy Swamp, he pops up, and then he was kind of hard to find at first, but then once I started getting him, he started popping up more and more and more and more and more. Number 33 is the Choho Hopper Flopper. This can only be found in forest areas. Once you find them, more and more will pop up. They were hard for me to find. He is down in Weeping Woods. Somewhere down that line of Weeping Woods, you'll find them. So one more time, just for y'all, I'll go over the fish real slow. So in case you guys need to find a number of a fish, if not, please use my supporter creator code JGW4 in the item shop. It allows me to give you guys more stuff. And please comment, like, and subscribe. The more of you subscribe, the more people we have for the drawings. And the more of you guys like it, comment. Tell me what you guys want to see, and I'll jump right on it. So 1 through 3 are floppers. 4 through 12 are your shield fish. Oh, 4 through 13, my bad. I forgot about one. Your small fries are 14 through 18. Your spicies are 19 through 23. Your jellies are 24 through 27. Oh, 28, my bad. I forgot about Cuddle down here. Forgot all about the cuttlefish. So it's 25 through 28, then 29 through 33 are your hoppers. And that is all we have for you on this video. JGW4 going out.
Bitch. Corvette, hop in a motherfucking jet like